It was really
All right, home movies.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's watch some of your YouTube videos.
So here's my old nasty baffling when I bought the airplane. I mean, that is just so ratty. It was crusty. I mean, it actually, when you flex it, it would crackle.
Yeah, it looks like drywall tape.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see. I don't know what that is. Yeah, little pieces right there, just all. What's this big orange thing?
That was the heater, right?
Yeah, that's a heater I took off. The heater.
It doesn't need a heater.
No, it doesn't.
Not in this state.
Do some heaters go where the bayonets would go?
Yes.
You
So,
have to make a choice.
well, this one had. Let me go back a little bit. There, you can. I don't know. Looped in with the ignition system is all this orange stuff. So there's a little 110 plug over. 110 plug there. And so, yes, it had a patch right here for heating the block right there. Then had one the same size on the oil pan. And then every cylinder had a bayonet style. No, not every cylinder. 5 of the 6 cylinders had a bayonet going in to heat up the cylinder. And one had nothing, if I remember correctly, because that's.
Your 710 cap.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
MHS 24 only?
Yeah, I don't know. MHS 24 only.
Do you put that in there?
Nope.
Whoa.
I don't know where you're seeing all that. I just see
That's
a bunch
just
of
a
weird
suggestion.
shit and then
Yeah.
710.
It's all rubbed off now.
I just crossed it out, so it's not a problem.
I see moons and the number 7.
Yeah, the number is Mason.
Let's see. Yeah, this was the baffling around there.
It's like fiberglass.
I know, it was like, I don't know, just sheets of asbestos or some old
Yeah.
fire hose or something. I'm like, yeah, it was just. And my engine's easy to deal with. So, yeah, I was
That's so gross.
so bad.
Wow, I bet it's spruced right up. It looks like crap, but if you look at it around the baffling, it looks decent.
Oh, yeah, the metal part's good.
You know what I mean? But that's right. If you put when you put the new one on, it probably just like.
I didn't take any pictures of the new stuff. That's my daughter. She's like, I'll do it. So she made little cardboard cutouts, and I took the stuff off. She made cardboard templates, got the sheet, cut it all up for me. And then there's my tug.
Hey, you
Um,
know what? The urine
So, well, back to this one. All right. Let's see. So we talked about that. Advantages of air cooling. We've already talked about that. What are some of the advantages?
Lighter weight.
Lighter weight. Why is it lighter weight?
Because there's no water.
Because air weighs less than water?
Steel's having steel because steel's heavier than feathers.
No need for water, oil, or water pump, radiator, no scoop, which means you don't have less drag, so a lot of components.
Less
Um,
hoses, less.
Oh, I'm so glad I looked at my notes. One book points out that air cooling is less susceptible to gunfire.
You know, not wrong.
Yes, I had to write that in there.
They're less susceptible to damage.
Yes, you have a very good point. It's not less susceptible to gunfire, it's less susceptible to gunfire damage. That was a good point.
Should we test this out?
All right, yeah, then.
We got somebody who really wants to test it out. We'll be back.
We need to control who's flying the water-cooled ones. All right.
Shot it.
I'll fly it.
And
Better Rotax, we can.
so water cooling, I think, is covered okay in your Rotax or Light Sport, because those are the ones that tend to have more of the water cooling. Let's see. And it's no different than an automobile. You have a radiator and water jackets around the cylinders, and so the temperature is a little more tightly controlled. So you have a thermostat that will open and close, just like we talked about with the oil. So when the engine is cold, the thermostat's going to go down to restrict water flowing across the cylinders. And then when it's hot, it's going to open up, expand, let water flow much easier around all the cylinders. So you have to have a water pump, you have to have a radiator and hoses, an expansion tank, and associated plumbing. But ultimately, it's still air-cooled, because the water has to be cooled by the air. All right. Let me see. I think I was covered that. Let me see. Let me see what we have over here. Talked about the helicopter. This I talked about the operation of engines and stuff, which I kind of moved out and said, hey, come see me at.
And one of those your panel?
No, mine's next. This is called a Heim joint. And the reason why I bring it up now is because shortly you're going to be installing your engine on a test stand. And so I think we had Heim joints on there. Anyway, there's a couple things you have to know when these joints, so this right here is a little ball joint that swivels around. A couple things you have to know. There's a hole right there. That is called a witness hole. Can I get a witness? That's what we're talking about. So this is threaded, and so you'd thread a rod into this right here. Well, maybe you need it kind of sticking out kind of far, so maybe your rod's only screwed in to this point right here. That would be very bad. So you need to make sure that no wire can go through that witness hole. It means that the threads are at least up into here. Whatever you screwed in is beyond that little hole. So the witness hole shows you if that witness hole is open, you have a problem.
You commonly see these on control tubes.
Control tubes, yes, these are control, and you'll see them on controls for carburetors, engine controls. So you want to make sure that, number one, no wire can get through the witness hole. Number two, there's an airworthiness directive on carburetors. If you had a bolt head, I'll do my best, or a screw that was this big, and this broke, then all of this part right here will just come right off. And the bolt in that little part right, the rest of it will stay there connected. So you have two pieces, and if it was a throttle, and now you're jamming the throttle, well, this big silver piece will be going back and forth, and the part that it's connected to is over there on the carburetor. Everybody follow that? Yeah. So you cannot do that. So what they want you to do is to put a large area washer around it, and then put your bolt through so it can't get through. Follow?
Also limits if it rotates and rubs.
Not on control carburetors and stuff. So make sure. I was inspecting airplanes down in Mojave, and everybody thought I was a freaking genius because I was looking at on the 172. I'm like, they had the large area wash on the other side. So you had the component arm for the carburetor, and then they put a large area washer, and then they put the Heim joint with a bolt going through it, you know, and a nut there, and had the bolt head here. And I'm like, well, since that's a large area washer doing nothing, I said, oh, that washer goes over here. And they're like, you're a genius. How would you know that? I'm like,
I don't understand what that large ear washer is for.
if I put a large area washer right here, how is if the Heim joint breaks, how's it going to get out past?
If it breaks, then the whole bolt head can be pulled through the bearing area, and then it's just free floating. But the big washer prevents it from getting pulled through.
Okay. So the Heim joint is pretty much just a ball bearing in there. You're putting too much tension on it, because technically you snap this. Then now you just have the inner ring of the ball bearing, and then technically an outer ring of the Heim joint, which is there, connected to nothing.
You have to see me tomorrow in lab, and I can put one together, and you're like, because it's such a simple little thing. Because Heim joints can come apart. Okay, so yeah, this is my airplane.
Oh, I get it.
Was my airplane.
Yeah.
Cylinder head temp. That's it. That's all you get. And it looks like it says like 300 here and 500 there. I don't know what it is in the middle. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You get one thing. That's it. No more.
Your airplane is so different now.
Yeah, it looks like that now.
I didn't recognize the other one.
So yeah, so I took all that out and put in that. So cylinder head temp, EGT. Bad picture, but
So cool.
that was before. Now it looks like this. So, okay. Let's see. So much to cover. Boy. Okay, troubleshooting. What if I have low oil pressure? What are some of the things I want to check?
Sticky relief valve. Oil gauge.
All right, low oil pressure. Low oil pressure.
Do you have oil?
All right, so I have heard. What? Try again. What do we got?
Do you have oil?
Low oil. Very good. Could have low oil. We have what?
Check the accuracy of the gauge.
Bad gauge. These are very good.
Weak pressure relief spring.
Pressure relief spring.
Foreign objects in the pressure relief valve.
FOD under, I'll just say ball, even though Continental doesn't use a ball. Foreign material under oil pressure relief. FOD, foreign object debris or damage. All right, what else we got? These are all very, very good.
Oil pump issue?
If you have low oil, if you actually have low oil, you may see a fluctuating gauge.
That's what the Q is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As it's picking up oil and goes through the pump, then it runs out, then it picks it up, then it runs out. What else you got? I have
Piston rings.
absolutely not piston rings. Worn piston rings will never cause low oil pressure.
Isn't like they're alive.
It will never cause low oil pressure.
Worn.
What will aligned piston rings cause? Low compression, high blow by. What else we got?
That oil
Pump.
pump?
Okay,
Jinx.
worn pump.
Damaged lines. If you have any high or oil lines,
Damaged how?
Like
pinched or hole, or you got a plug that's not screwed in or torqued right.
Blocked
Yeah,
oil
leaks.
cooler.
I'm kind of looking at an engine that maybe has been in service, but okay, you screwed up when building it. I'll take that.
Blockage in oil gallery.
No, I don't think that would cause low oil pressure.
In the oil cooler.
Okay.
Oil?
Wrong. Wrong viscosity for the temperature.
Overheating oil.
I have hot engine with low viscosity. Let me see. I wrote down low oil pressure. Bad gauge. Got that. Incorrect adjusted oil pressure. Incorrectly adjusted. So I guess that would be it. Incorrect. Incorrect setup. There we go. Worn bearings. Right? Engine's wearing out. That's what it does. High oil pressure.
Cool.
Cold oil.
All right, there we go. Normal if the engine is cold. So, cold engine.
Bad gauge. Again.
That is normal. Yeah, it could be bad gauge.
Again, improperly adjusted pressure relief.
Bad gauge, improper adjustment. I won't write all these down. So you're right though. Improperly adjusted, wrong viscosity for the temperature, blockage.
But it would be a blockage outside of the filter.
Yes. Yeah, in a gallery or something. Actually, that'd be in a weird spot because the relief valve will just, if you had a blockage, it'll,
Yeah, the relief valve.
Something got behind the relief valve.
yeah.
Or-
High oil temp. Number 1.
Oil cooler valve. Is that
Bad gauge.
bad gauge?
Clogged oil cooler. Is that what you were trying to say?
Bad
Yeah,
burner thermal.
that or the thermotherm. Yeah, thermotherm. Is,
Vernitherm bad.
Improper viscosity oil.
Also, you can get a leaky vernotherm.
Oh, so it's showing higher than
Yep,
this.
leaky vernotherm seat. What else do you have back there?
Improper oil viscosity.
Yeah, viscosity too low.
You're running
Pre-ignition.
your engine too hard.
Yep.
Yeah, over speed or
Overspeed or
pre-ignition.
torque, no power.
What do I want to say?
No cowl.
Too high power for conditions.
Your baffles, bad baffles.
Yep.
Worn bearings.
Probably not. I don't know.
Your
Low
your-
oil
Yeah.
quantity could cause.
Yeah, low quantity.
Yeah, low oil.
Yep. Because you only have a little bit of oil, and you're trying to keep that oil cool, but it's using all of it constantly. Those are all really good. That's way more than what I wrote. Fun fact. So the small Continentals, the 0200, I think even the 300, 200, 85, 65, the blast tubes. So they run a blast tube on the oil screen in the back on the housing. It is very interesting if you stop and think about why they might be doing that.
on the oil screen, not an oil cooler.
Blows debris off the screen.
Those don't have oil coolers.
So this is the cooler.
That's one of these right here. There we go. The oil screen goes right in here. And they have a blast tube that blasts. It's shaped a little different, but it blasts right there against that. And what is there?
Debris.
The screen and
temp sensor.
the temp sensor. Just saying.
So it always looks good.
So it
When-
looks
when you're
good.
running, yeah, you don't
So
have
it
to
looks
touch it.
good. Yeah.
Is the vernotherm, is that the same thing as the flow control valve?
Yes. So yeah, that's a funny thing. So I know my 150, the oil, of course, it had the OILTEMP and then just the green and the red, and it just looks scary. You don't know what the numbers are. It's getting up towards the red when I fly around here in the summertime, and of course that thing, in the summertime, with a full tank of gas and me and a little person, that thing climbs at a whopping 150 feet per minute. I don't think I ever had that thing over 7,000 feet. I think maybe one time I flew it over 5,000 feet. It takes just so long to get up there. You're like, oh my goodness. But yeah, you'd have to climb, then level off and wait for a while. I mean, you go like 20 minutes waiting for the oil to kind of come down a little bit. Okay, start the climb again and go right back up. It's like, jeez.
Kind of stress motor for the airframe?
Huh?
Kind of a stress motor for the airframe almost?
It's just a 100 horsepower engine at sea level, so just didn't do. I don't know, not my favorite. What do I have? Other considerations. I'll just throw this stuff out there. Other considerations are when rigging controls, make sure the control goes to both stops on the component, not the cockpit. So as you're rigging up your controls, engine controls, because that's what we're talking about.
I think that was a Q&A. Kind of just a module.
Maybe. We have the throttle. At some point, this little throttle is going to hit that little stop, right?
Yeah.
It should never hit that stop.
Should hit the one inside.
It's got to hit the one outside first. So you push this all the way forward, there should be an 1/8 of an inch gap. That's called cushion. And when you see that, boom, something's stopping it, but you have an 1/8 inch cushion, I know that it's hitting outside on the carburetor full stop. Or the prop governor, or the mixture. That it's stop to stop out there. If it hits inside the cockpit first, you have no idea. And that's when I bought my airplane, that's exactly the way it was. Go full throttle, and what does it do? It hits right there first. I have no idea if it's on full throttle or not. Just had to guess that I was full throttle. Well, as soon as I got home, I took it apart and made sure it was. And it hit at the same time, but that's not acceptable. You got to have cushion.
When my girlfriend got her PPL, have fine adjustment. So
Mine doesn't.
So she got in with a new
Yeah.
flight instructor, and she just pulled it to adjust instead of twisting to adjust. Or no, it was mixture, not throttle.
Right,
So
okay.
You couldn't do fine adjustment, and I think she pushed it in or something towards stop, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
So
Freak it out.
some knobs have fine control, some do not. These two they're called veneer controls. The black one is not. The black one goes forward and back. That's it. And there's a little lock right here. You can add some friction to it. So you can put it where you want it and twist this little piece right up here. Twist that little piece and lock it in place. But these two right here have fine control. So you can push the button in like that and move it forward and aft all you want. Let go of the button and it locks. It will not go forward and aft, but you can twist it and it'll unscrew and screw in. So you can do it real fine. And the reason why is because throttle is a little more of a, you wouldn't want that. You want to be able to do throttle rapidly. And you just don't do it that fine. But when it comes down to the prop control, you want to dial in an exact RPM. It makes it nice. But even more importantly is your mixture. We're looking for, when we're flying, a certain exhaust gas temperature. We're looking for the peak exhaust gas temperature. And so to get that, I pull out about yay far, and then I start twisting it out and watch my exhaust gas temperature go up, 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 and then it starts to go back down the other way, and I go, nope, that's too far out, and push it back in, it goes up. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, make sure we have cushion. We already talked about the threaded, the witness hole. And we'll talk about this other stuff later. So, all right, we got that.
Like pulling it out, how would you know that it stops at the component versus inside the cockpit stop?
You don't really, yeah, for the idle part, and it's not that important.
Okay.
You know that the red one worked when the engine shuts down, and you can see it outside. You can see it hit the stop outside.
Okay.
And so you just assume that it worked.